guys just walked right by it.
There's a snake. It's a boa.
A python.
It's a python.
Where is it?
It's behind the tree.
Oh, yeah.
What's in here? No one? Nothing then. Oh, God. There's a turtle in that one. Look at that.
So the silverback gorilla is basically a nickname for an old gorilla. Old male gorilla, I should say. All male gorillas, no matter what type of gorilla they are, get that silverback as they get older.
Let's go. And yeah. We're just going to be going over a few safety reminders very quickly. So just first and foremost, and at this point, keep in mind that these roads are not paved at all. This is going to be a very bumpy ride. So make sure you're holding on to any loose article very tightly. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to stop for any drop items for their survival.
Oh, looks
And we're going to be starting out to our left-hand side in just a moment. Because it makes it a lot easier to move and travel around the dense forest. So up this hill, there's going to be a couple of oak copies. One of them is just having the Sumi's side also. There's going to be one of those grayish tin antelopes. This is a greater kudu. The kudus do look a little bit like deers. The main difference with the deers is that the kudus are just a lot bigger.
He's in the road.
They can grow and stand up to 5 feet tall up to the shoulders. One of the biggest kind of antelopes in Africa. Those are a few of the girls. You can tell because they don't have any horns. So there's a couple of black and white birdies out here to your left. This is a couple of saddle-bill storks. One of the largest kind of storks in Africa. With the storks right back there, I think we're all good to make it up to your next area. This is the Sapphire River. We're starting out on our right with a few of those Nile hippopotamus as well as quite a few of those feedback pelicans. If you're sitting down to the left, no worries. We're probably going to see a few hippos on your side in just a little bit. So we're just going to start out with those pelicans. The feedback pelicans have their name because in that pink color, they'll show up on the back of their feathers. But this happens only during mating season. It's kind of cute, almost as if they were blushing. Alright, then down our left, there's going to be a whole group right hanging out by those waterfalls. And a group of hippos is called a bloat. There's a little bloat. And also to our left, we're seeing one of those Nile crocodiles right in the water as well. And you see his little head kind of poking out. If you see a baobab tree out here, that's what is called the tree of life. Very important part of the savannah. I'm going to be talking about those later. We're probably going to see a few more. So far, let's just make our way into the savannah. Usually Usually out here you can expect to find animals like elephants, zebras, giraffes. I think everybody spotted a few of those giraffes, so we're gonna try and get a little bit closer.
I've
More
been on
specifically
this
here in the
slide
reserve, we
before.
only have Maasai
Yeah, we've been on
giraffes,
there.
one of the largest of the giraffe subspecies, with a max length of 20 feet. Giraffes are really, really funny. They're also super active animals throughout the day. They tend to sleep for about 30 minutes of the day. That's about it. They'll do about 5 minutes here and there. And they can also sleep standing up with their eyes open. It's just a little bit weird to see the giraffe sitting down. You can also see on the right there's an Incolli cattle, the animal with those really big horns. This animal's a sign of wealth in Africa, also known as Watusi cattle. And also, just right over at the left, you probably tried to spot a few puppies out in this habitat. You're sitting down underneath that cave, there's going to be some African painted dogs. These animals are most commonly known as wild dogs. You probably know them by that name. There's about 3 of them down there. The group of zebras is known as a dazzle, roughly the same size. They get both running to the same speed, 45 miles per hour. So it's very likely to see both those animals migrating together. We'll see if we can spot a few wildebeest as we move around, but so far, we're just gonna try and get a bit closer to some of the giraffes out here. You're gonna see a little one, and down the left, there's a little baby giraffe out here. Out in their reserve, whereby it is around 7 to 8 months old. Usually up around at 7 months, just like this. The baby. You can see a few more members of this group on our left. Group of giraffes is called a tower of giraffes. There are some wildebeest up that hill. Wildebeest do have a very common African name. They're called news, pretty much because of the sound that they make. You can also see the springboks out here to the right. One of the fastest flying animals. These little ones, they just run just as fast as they can do, about 60 miles per hour. And of course, one more of those giraffes out here.
Oh, look how close he is.
Oh,
Don't touch it. Get out. Back there. So I'm gonna try and get a little bit closer to those two. For the most part, the African elephants, this is, of course, the largest land animal. For the most part, the girls can reach around 8,000 pounds, and the boys are even bigger, reaching around 30,000 pounds. That is C13. This little couple out here does seem to be a couple of girls, especially because of their size. Also because they're both hanging out kind of nearby each other. The girls seem to be very social animals. They do enjoy hanging out together. For the most part, they will try to stick together throughout their whole entire lifespan. Which for elephants, that could be as long as about 70 years. And on the other hand, the boys just tend to be a bit more solitary, kind of like the black rhino that we spotted out at the beginning. Out in the wild, male elephants are considered adults around 15 years old, like teenagers for us. And for the most part, they will just travel around the savannah either alone. They could also form small bachelor groups, maybe like 3 or 5 male elephants. But for the most part, you would just see them hanging out by themselves. We're actually going to try and spot a few of the boys out on our left. I think they do start seeing them are up on the back, so we'll try to get a little bit closer. There's the 2 of them back there having a little trunk wrestling. We'll be going a little bit slow. We'll see if they decide to come up. Especially, the elephants tend to use their trunks for different things. One of those things is trunk wrestling. This is pretty much especially for the boys. This is just a dominance thing. There's gonna be the 2 of them back there. And what they're trying to do right here is just basically just testing their strength. There they go. is actually very good ritual for the youngest elephants. They tend to do this with the oldest ones, and what they do with the oldest ones is just being taught how to be a male elephant. They have to be taught how to fight, how to defend themselves, because remember that they tend to travel around the savannah alone. Also on our left is another animal. This is the Flamingo Island. Group of flamingos is what is called a flamboyance. This favorite animals out here. There's some of those southern white rhinoceros. White rhinos, this is one of my favorite animals because they're the friendliest out of the 5 of the rhino species. And if you keep an eye up this hill also to your left, probably see a little cheetah just taking a nap up at that corner. 60 to even 70 miles per hour in around 3 seconds. You can see another one hiding upon those bushes up the hill on our left. And be heading up to this rock formation, the Cry Rock, which is home of African lions. Keep setting up right here so we can see the 3 of them all together. The 3 of these lions are around 2 years old. These are not full babies anymore, but they're still pretty young. If you notice, there is a boy back there just hanging out with one of his sisters. He still has a little mane kind of growing out of his neck. The mane takes about 5 years of fully showing out. But once again, that little one is about 2, so it still has quite a bit. A little couple out here, actually. This is going to be a couple of female ostriches. You can tell because of the gray color of their feathers. Boys tend to be a little bit bigger. They also have a pitch black color. And at the bottom of this path, there's about 5 or 6 of those ostriches. And push into those plants right there. The ostriches tend to be huge. Those are also super heavy. They can get up to about 3 pounds. Each home of the Nigerian bird goat. Honestly, one of the cutest animals around. You're gonna see them all over the place. There they go. Playful animals. It's really one of the most domesticatable animals. They have excellent balance. They're very good at climbing on stuff. Right around this point, I do always like to recommend people that if you do want to have an up-close view with some of those little goats today, actually pet them. You get to do that here at the park. And for that, just have to make your way over right at Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Yeah.
So they can make noise with their throat.
Enjoyed those quaint exhibits in the old wing. That's how dinosaurs have been presented to the public since the study of fossils began over 150 years ago.
Hello there. Welcome to our little trans-dimensional joyride, folks. If I can bring you back from the Cretaceous period, it stands to reason that I can bring back a live dinosaur with you.
Arrived, it seems, just in time to correct a little misstatement.
Dr. Marsh, we're in. Now, here's the drill. You follow the homing signal to the iguanodon, then I'll enlarge the transport field, and boom, you're back with one additional passenger extra large. Don't worry about that asteroid. You'll be in and out of there before it even breaks the atmosphere. Trust me, what could go wrong?
feet?
Yeah. I saw it.
Right next to me?
It's like the bird fly. Thanks for me,
You're going to have a chance to undertake an amazing Navi rite of passage, riding on the back of a Banshee, put out by my boss, Dr. Jackie Ogden. She leads our science team, which is part of the Pandora Conservation Initiative, is one of these important animals. Dr. Ogden is the foremost expert on studying the Ikron and has spent years researching. Thanks to science, avatars can ride on Banshees too. That's why you're linking to an avatar. So, let's get ready for our next... Huh? I'll be right back. Put the standby system on, quickly.
Standby. We're looking into delays with the genetic matching system.
Okay, to get you flying on a Banshee, we need to find each of you an avatar. Let's watch this piece by Dr. Ogden, who runs the program.